Okay, folks, I'm going to go back to Noah for just a second here. There's some hidden codes. You got to look into the Bible and see some hidden meanings that are in the Bible. If you look far enough, you'll find these. And if you go back to the lineage of Noah, you'll see that there's Adam, who lived 930 years, Seth, 912, Enos, 905, Canaan, 910, Mahalath, 895, Jared, 962, Enoch, 365. Enoch never died, by the way. Enoch one day just went walking with God and was never seen again. Okay. Then he had Methuselah, which is 969, and Lamech. And notice Lamech lived 777 years. Then he had Noah. Okay. Now each word in the Hebrew language, each word has meaning. And the meaning to Adam means man. The meaning of Seth means appointed. Enos means mortal. Canaan means sorrow. Mahalath says the blessed God, means the blessed God. Jared means shall come down. Enoch means teaching. Methuselah means death shall bring. Lamech, the despairing, and Noah means comfort or rest. So if we put these in a sentence, the meaning in a sentence, it says, man has appointed mortal sorrow. The blessed God shall come down, teaching that his death shall bring the despairing comfort. There's all sorts of meaning in the Bible. This is a very interesting one. There's a guy on YouTube, Chuck Missler. He does excellent readings and breaks the Bible down into some hidden meanings. Also note this, once again, Lamech lived 777 years. This Genesis merges with Revelation. Once again, there were 7 trumpets, 7 bowls, and 7 vials. Okay? We have 777 here, and at the end, we have 777. And after that 7th vial, I believe is the last one that comes down, then we have the return of Christ and a cleansing period. Just like we do with Noah, after the 777th year, then we have a cleansing period when God brought Noah and the flood. They mimic each other. Alright? Alright folks, we're going to go show you that there's, you really have to get into the Bible deeper and deeper. And a Bible's like an onion. The more you peel away, the more intricate it becomes. And there's something in there called equal distance letter sequence. And it's every 49 letters. Now you got to go into the Torah to get this, not the Bible. It starts at every 49 letters. There's a letter that's spelled out. And if you'll notice 2 things, all countries west of Jerusalem read from left to right. All countries east of Jerusalem read from right to left. So if you go into the Torah and you come to the first T and you start going every 49 letters, okay, you come to the first T, 49 letters will be an O, 49 letters will be an R and an H. Okay? This is true in Genesis and in Exodus. In Leviticus, this is not true. But in Numbers, it spells Torah backwards, right to left, starting with first T going backwards, and in Deuteronomy also. Okay? What Leviticus does is it spells Yahweh from the 4th letter every 49 letters. And the meaning is all people point to God. Alright? That's in Leviticus, you have Yahweh, it says, every 49 letters. So once again, there's some hidden meaning. Check that out. Chuck Missler will tell about that on YouTube. He's got some excellent stuff in there. Okay, we're going to continue talking about the beast. Once again, Satan is mimicking God. God consists of 3 things, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, 3 in 1. Satan, in end-time revelation, is going to be 3 in 1. It's going to be the beast, the false prophet, and the Antichrist, okay? 3 different entities. Okay? The beast is President Obama. All right? He will be America's last president. He's the beast spoke of in Revelation. He also is the only president ever to have a sign. All right? If we could pan over to the television quickly. This is the sign of President Obama. It says forward and all this. This is the O in forward. What this is President Obama is a Muslim. Again, his middle name is Hussein. Barack Hussein Obama. That comes from the Arab lineage. And what we have here is in the Quran, it says there'll be a day when the sun rises in the east, when we will rule the west. And that's what this ends. Here's the sky up here. Here's the horizon with the sun coming up. Once again, it's the half sun coming over the horizon, over the American flag. It'll be a day when the sun rises in the east, when we will rule over the west. All right? Let's pan back over here to the board to show you that there's mathematics behind a lot of this, numerology. I highly ask you all to study numerology. It's a fascinating thing. But if we break down 6, 6, and 6, if we have 6 times 6 is 36, times 6 again, we have 216. Okay? That's Barack Obama's birthday, the 216th day of the year. All right? He was also born in Hawaii, and the island of Oahu, the latitude that goes through there is 21.6, the same as this number here. 21.6 goes right through the island of Oahu, where he was born. Barack Hussein Obama was born in America. He was not born outside of the country. He went to Chicago, though. The zip code of Chicago is, where he was from, was 60606. 666. This is incredible. The election was on the first presidential election of President Obama was November 4th, 2008. Okay? The following day, on November 5th, 2008, you should all stop the tape after I say this and Google it. On the pick 3, the Illinois State Lotto, pick 3 number was 666. On the exact same ticket, the pick 4 number was 7779. In numerology, 3 sevens means completion. 9 means judgment. God is judging us on our officials, and we turn to evil. America, the majority of people have turned to evil. All right, and God is going to put up with this. This is the exact same thing that split the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, the 10 tribes to the north and the 2 tribes to the south. They didn't want to follow God's laws anymore. So they went after, they said, we want to be more like the pagans. And God says, all right, if this is what you want, I'll give it to you, but it's going to cost you. And it cost them. The Babylonians came and took them, and we do that whole roundabout where the Persians and Esther and everything else. They lost their land because they weren't listening to God. We're going to lose our land, and unfortunately I think it's too late because of the information I have, and I'll show you, and I'm going to speak about later. But this is not coincidental, all right? Let's also go back over here and talk about Obama that you're not getting from the press. Because who owns the press? The Illuminati, the same people that own Hollywood, the same people that own all the record companies that are pumping out this satanic crap. Okay? President Obama, this woman here, says that Obama and some of the people around the president killed her son. Okay? Because he was a homosexual. He's having a homosexual affair with President Obama. Obama was having 3 homosexual affairs with men in the Church of the Trinity which was his Chicago Jeremiah Wright church. Fortunately, some people were coming up killed. If you Google, simply Google, mom of murdered Obama gay lover, you'll see that this story pops up, and we're doing it right here live to show you that I'm not manipulating anything. And you'll get a story. Mother of murdered Obama gay lover speaks up. You could read this here, and it says the last thing here was Obama was a member of Jeremiah Wright's Church Liberation Theology. Obama's relationship with Young was confirmed by Larry Sinclair, who claims to have had 2 sex cocaine trysts with Obama. This man goes into great detail. If you YouTube or Google him, he gives a press conference prior to 2008 election telling what Obama was about and how evil this guy is. But it gets blocked out during the press because our press is owned by the Luciferians. All right, for what I'm about to show you, I'm tired of hypocrisy in government. And I'm tired of the media not putting out the truth. It's very simple. 1 + 1 is 2. It is because it is. I didn't make the world that way. It just is because it is. The truth is the truth. And our president, what I'm showing here, is a hypocrite. Like many other politicians. I'm just trying to show not only his hypocrisy, but I'm trying to show how the media covers up his hypocrisy. Okay? That's why I'm doing this. What you're about to see is a man right here which gave a press interview back in 2008 when our president was running for his first term. He openly comes out and tells about a homosexual relationship that he was in with the president. Again, president's had 3 homosexual relationships from men in the church that he was in Chicago. Doesn't come out, okay? Listen to this guy. He gets into great detail.
Good afternoon. My name is Larry Sinclair. In regards to the Obama incident, I flew out of Colorado Springs, Colorado to Chicago on November 2nd, 1999, arriving in O'Hare early in the morning of November 3rd. I went to the Chicago area to attend the graduation of my godson, my best friend's son, from basic training from the Great Lakes Navy Training Facility. I made reservations at the Comfort Inn Suites in Gurnee, Illinois, based solely on the location to the training center. On November 5th, 1999, I hired the services of 5-star limousine. Excuse me. I had hired them both for November 5th and November 6th of 1999. On November 6, 1999, I asked the limo driver, whose name I now reveal for the first time, Jair Baramit Mutami, if he knew anyone who would like to socialize and show me Chicago. Mr. Mutami understood that I was looking for someone who knew Chicago and would enjoy socializing. Mr. Mutami said he knew someone who was a friend of his. On November 6, 1999, after picking me up at the hotel in Gurnee, and this is significant, Mr. Mutami used his cell phone to make a call. That call was made to then Illinois State Senator Barack Obama to set up an introduction between myself and Senator Obama. Upon arriving at the bar and exiting the limo, Senator Obama was standing next to Mr. Mutami, and I was introduced to Senator Obama by name. Later that evening in a bar which I believe was called Alibis, and I state believe because I have failed so far to get Citigroup to provide the credit card receipts as the actual name. I mentioned I could use a line or 2 to wake up. Senator Obama asked me if I was referring to coke, and I stated I was. After stating I was, Obama stated he could purchase cocaine for me and then made a telephone call. This too was significant from a cell phone to a presently unknown individual during which Senator Obama arranged the cocaine purchase. Senator Obama and I then departed the bar in my limousine and proceeded to an unknown location where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine, after which I had the driver take me to my hotel, the Comfort Suites, Gurney, Illinois. The following day, November 7th, 1999, Senator Obama appeared at my hotel room, unannounced, uninvited, where we again ingested cocaine and I again performed fellatio on Senator Obama. Significantly, both the driver's telephone call to Senator Obama and his call to the drug dealer should appear on the driver's and Senator Obama's cell phone billing statements. In the fall of 2007, September 2007, I contacted the presidential campaign of Barack Obama to request solely that Senator Obama publicly correct his stated drug use record to reflect his use of crack cocaine with me in November of 1999. When I made the first contact, I left with the presidential campaign of Senator Obama a telephone number for the campaign to return my call. The first number I provided was a Texas cell phone number. From the period of Labor Day weekend 2007 through November 18th of 2007, I did provide a total of 4 different callback numbers to the Obama campaign. As I had moved and I had changed the numbers to reflect locally my place of residence at the time. In late September to early October 2007, I received a call from a male who identified himself as a Mr. Young, stating he was calling in regards to calls I had made to the Obama campaign. This first call was in fact an attempt by Mr. Young to obtain from me the identities of anyone I had contacted concerning my 1999 allegations against Senator Obama. This first call shocked me in that this Mr. Young, the first call was in fact an attempt by Mr. Young to obtain from me the identities of anyone I had contacted concerning my 1999 allegations against Senator Obama. The first call shocked me in that this Mr. Young asked me why I had not asked Senator Obama to disclose the sexual encounters I had with Mr. Obama in 1999. I was shocked as I had never mentioned to the campaign or anyone working for the campaign any sexual encounters, as my call was prompted by drug allegations only. The call ended with Mr. Young stating I would hear from someone in a few days. In mid to late October 2007, I received a second call from this Mr. Young, at which time I clearly became aware that this individual was personally involved with Senator Obama rather than just an employee of his campaign. The tone of the conversation had a sexual nature. Mr. Young did not once advise me how he obtained my phone number, which by this time had now changed to a Delaware number. In late October 2007, I received a text message from the gentleman identified as Mr. Young, in which he stated he was intimately involved with Senator Obama, and that Obama was discussing with him and his pastor how to publicly acknowledge Senator Obama's drug use in 1999. And that Obama wanted to be sure I had not discussed the sexual encounters or drug incidents with any media at that time. In mid to late November 2007, in another text message from Mr. Young, he advised me that Senator Obama will publicly correct his statement as to the last time he used drugs, and I did not need to concern myself with publicly disclosing it myself. The last contact I had with Mr. Young was in early December 2007. When he made it clear to me that Senator Obama had no intentions of publicly acknowledging his 1999 use of crack cocaine, and that Mr. Young was in fact doing nothing more than milking information from me for Senator Obama's use. I later learned that A. Donald Young, the choir director of Reverend Wright's Trinity United Church of Christ, Obama's now former church, and who was openly homosexual, learned that he was murdered on December 23rd of 2007. I have cooperated with the Chicago Police Department on this matter by providing them the telephone numbers I was using during the fall of 2007. And I release them now publicly in the hope that someone may be able to connect the dots between these telephone numbers and Mr. Young. In what I now realize was a naive and uncounseled decision, I posted in January 2008 a video on YouTube where I related the above information regarding my liaisons with Senator Obama in 1999. The response was overwhelming, and I quickly became the recipient of what in hindsight appears to have been a coordinated attack on my character, with ever-increasing falsehoods circulating on the internet. Dan Parisi of Whitehouse.com received $750,000 from the Obama campaign through David Axelrod's AKP Media and Message One, or Message and Media, I think, to organize an effort to publicly discredit me. When I confronted Dan Parisi with this allegation, he did not deny it. The polygraph results as misrepresented were immediately seized upon by the blogger community, and I became the subject of vicious lies about me. I was forced to file a lawsuit in an attempt to stop those lies about me that had been circulating. That lawsuit sought to obtain the proof of what I was saying about my contact with Senator Obama through subpoenas for the identities of the anonymous bloggers, so they could be linked to the Obama campaign and relevant records of the cell phone companies to prove the truth of my allegations. To date, though the lawsuit is now over 90 days old, Judge Henry Kennedy has refused to permit the suit to move forward so this evidence may be obtained. In conclusion, in sum, you can discredit my story, and then you can make your decision on who should be next President of the United States. The burden is now off of me, as I have told my story without the distortions that have been intentionally heaped on me, and what my lawyer tells me is an ad hominem attack. Shoot the messenger so you don't have to hear the message he is bringing. I'm now done. It's for others to find the corroborating evidence of my story by locating the limousine driver, Mr. Mutani, by checking the telephone numbers related to Donald Young and Senator Obama. I leave you with these questions that I've asked of Senator Obama, but in which he, of course, refuses to answer. Who wants to be the next President of the United States? Has refused to answer. Number one, why won't Senator Obama provide his cell phone numbers and telephone records for all his personal and official cell phones held by him for the time period of no more than November 3rd through November 8th of 1999, when we met? Two, why won't Senator Obama provide his cell phone numbers and telephone records for all his personal and official cell phones held by Senator Obama for September 2007 through December 23rd of 2007, the murder of Donald Young? Three, why won't Senator Obama provide all email communication, both personal and campaign related to and or from AKP Media and Message from January 18th, 2008 through February 29th of 2008 for Senator Obama, David Axelrod, and David Plouffe? Fourth, why won't Senator Obama provide proof of all payments made from AKP Media, Obama for America, David Axelrod, David Plouffe, and Senator Obama's accounts for the period of January 18th, 2008 through February 29th of 2008. On the website that we posted today, LarrySinclair.org, you will find the documents that I referred to in the statement.
Okay, so why did I show this? Is this to humiliate Mr. Obama? No. I am a Christian. Do I care if someone's a homosexual? No. So why am I showing this? Hypocrisy, one, and two, are media that keeps this from you. I guarantee 99% of people have never seen this video. Okay? And there's a lot more on there about this subject. All right, folks, now we're going to talk about the story of Daniel, okay, and the dream he had, the vision he had, and how that relates into end-time prophecy. Story of Daniel, as we all know, he was in prison. There, in his cell with him was the king's cook. The king's cook was took out of jail as he was preparing food for the king. The king had a terrible dream. Really bothered him. So he called his occult people in to have him break down this dream and what it meant. And the king says, if you don't know it, you must be you must not know what you're talking about, and I'm going to have you killed. Well, these three people that the king brought in to decipher his dream had no clue to what he was talking about, so the king had him killed. Well, this cook was overhearing this, and he went into the king and said, hey, I know a fellow I was in prison with. I had a dream, and he deciphered my dream, and he might be able to help you. So they went down into the jail, and they got Daniel, and they brought him out, and he told of this story, and of this, pan over here for a second. He told this story of this, this dream that the king had, and the dream had this, dreamt of this great statue, okay? And the great statue was broken down into some different colors. The head of the statue was gold, the chest of the statue was silver, the waist of the statue was bronze, the legs were iron, and the feet were divided in half of iron and clay. And how this relates to end times is this. Daniel said there's going to be, your kingdom is the great kingdom, sir. Yours is the first kingdom. There's going to be 4 great kingdoms come until the end of time, or until returning of the Messiah. And yours is the first. And yours represents the first, or gold in the head. The second kingdom will come. The third kingdom will come. But the last kingdom, okay, and notice it's the legs. The legs are of the same body, okay, but they're split. This reflects the United States and Britain. We come from the same body, but we're split. And the feet represent iron and clay, meaning we're going to be destroyed. All right? That's what that symbol represents. Now, how does this come about? Well, let's first figure out who that is. Come back over here if you would. What they're talking about is the Merovingian bloodline. All right? And how does the Merovingian bloodline come from England over to America? It's through this man, Aleister Crowley. Okay? Here's another picture of Aleister Crowley. His mother called him the most evil man in the world. So who is this guy? Well, he's a Luciferian, an occultist. He's Barbara Bush's father. Okay? George W. Bush's grandfather. All right? That's how this bloodline makes it across. The Bush family is pure evil. They're Luciferians. They're setting up this end time game. All right? I'm going to give you, show you what George Herbert Walker Bush said 11 years to the day on 9/11. I'm going to let these people tell in their own words what's to come. Listen very carefully to the words.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
What does that mean, and we will be? Who's he talking about? Listen to it one more time.
Conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision.
Folks, the whole Bush family is completely corrupt. Prescott Bush, who went to Yale, was part of the Skull and Bones and the 322. He was giving money to Hitler to fight our troops. All right? This piece of garbage came about. He was attached to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan had to take this guy. He was told that if Ronald Reagan didn't take him as vice president, him and Reagan didn't see eye to eye. Reagan didn't like this guy. and Reagan was told he'd never make presidency. So Ronald Reagan spoke about this openly. Reagan said no, not to take him, he wouldn't become president. So Ronald Reagan thought about it and said, well, if I take him, at least I have a chance to get in this office to make a difference. But he had to take him. And what happens is he came next. Now, the war between Gog and Magog, if you follow the lineage of Noah and you follow, there was a guy by the name of Rus down in his lineage. Rus made it up to, the tribe of Rus was, made it to north of Israel. Well, if you look due north of Israel, you'll find Moscow. And this is the first tribes of what became the Russians, right? That's who World War III is going to take place between, is Gog and Magog. George Herbert Walker's confirmation name is Magog. Who started the war? Who brought our troops out there in 1991 to start Desert Shield and all that stuff? It was him. This whole thing started back there with this guy, and you're going to see this come to an end in the very near future. And I'm going to talk about that in just a few more minutes. Okay, for those of you that aren't really getting on board with me yet and understanding what's going on, and I know it's hard to believe because both the Republicans and Democrats are in on this together. Evil has corrupted people, and they're taking the evil ones and raising them to the top. They're putting the big money behind them to get into this office. Let's face it, nowadays, if you are not in the presidency, in that office, if you are not bought and paid for, you're not getting to that level of politics. So I want you to hear this in their own words. So you don't trust me, trust them in their own words. Note the date and listen to what they say.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order, can emerge. Now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order.
Now to Council of Foreign Relations up here. You're going to see this. The Council of Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission together with are going to start forming the New World Order under the UN. It's going to be a UN. They're just waiting for one catastrophe to happen. America is so far outstretched financially, one big 9/11 is going to bring this whole world under collapse. And you're going to see fighting. You're going to see Katrina in every city. Once this happens, there's only a 3-day supply of food for cities. Within 3 days, you're going to see people killing each other. Okay? This is going to be evil central. Until the world is in such an uproar, they're going to be begging someone to come in and take the lead. And this is where the Antichrist comes in, and they're going to form a new world order. It's all coming apart right now at the seams, folks. Okay, so where we're going with this, once again, is a new world order, one world government. That's where we're going. It's going to be through the UN. And we're almost there right now. It's coming close because the UN has its own judge and jury system. Okay, there'll be no appeals on anything. It's got its own military. You got the blue hats, the rapists of the world. And where this is going is they need a way to fund the United Nations. How are they doing that? Right now they're doing it through the US mostly. We're giving the most amount of money. However, this is why President Obama and the politicians were trying to bring the internet to the United Nations. Give it up. Why? So they could tax. They need to get a tax, a worldwide tax, so they can grow their military and grow that government. There's no appeals on anything. No one has a say-so. The reason our government works, because there's checks and balances. I said this once before. It's always two against one. Okay? Two sides of government against one. That's how our checks and balances work. That's why this government has worked fairly well for 230 plus years. There is no form of government, there is no checks and balances. There is no appeals. This is going to be a totalitarian system worldwide. Once again, this has been done over and over and over. Satan does it. He did it through Egypt. This is the ruling party. Everyone else is slaves. Rome did it. This is the ruling party, the politicians. Everyone else is slave. The entire world, okay? England tried to do it. We're going to try to do it. The Antichrist is going to do it right here. It's what's happening. So if you think you've been watching all these videos, show me how this is a satanic symbol, folks. How is that satanic? Two ways. Start counting. There's 13 leaves. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. 13 on each side. What else? This world is divided up into 33. There's 33. Let's take it in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 1, 2, 3, 4 is 32, and 1 in the middle is 33. Is everyone seeing this? Is that coincidence? Okay, as we, since the 1600s, once again, Satan is coming at us from all sides. It's like fighting an octopus. Everywhere you turn, they're wrapping their tentacles around you. And so I may be skipping around here some, but just note what I say, do your own research. FDR was one of the worst presidents we absolutely ever had. He was a Mason. Well, all three of these were Masons right here. And these guys took the world, even though they won World War II and all that, they did not do a good job. This guy did not do a good job. Regardless, we won the war, that's a good thing, but his cabinet really changed America and where we're going. He had a guy by the name of Manly P. Hall. You need to study this guy. He wrote one of the books on black magic and witchcraft, and he is truly sold his soul to Satan. He is truly an evil man. He was in touch with Nicholas Roerich, who was a Russian mystic. Came from Russia and is a mystic. And here he is as a younger guy. Here he is a middle-aged guy. This is the man that has knowledge and has the stone, found the stone, the emerald that was on Lucifer's hat. Okay? That's one of the three objects that will come up in end times revelation. He found that. Okay? His FDR's vice president, Wallace, was a Luciferian also. These three guys, Roerich, Wallace, and Manly P. Hall, took what we now have as the basis of our current dollar bill. Our current dollar bill is pure satanic. All right. I'll give you a name of a website that you need to see, and you need to do research on our dollar bill. It's truly evil, and they are going to debase this dollar as much as they could. Okay, we spoke about Adam Weishaupt. He's he's a head of organizing this whole end time thing. Okay, this is a picture of Adam Weishaupt. Okay. The Illuminati plan started on May 1st, 1776. This is what the back of our dollar bill is all about. It has to do with the birthday of the Illuminati. This is the end time game plan coming down to a head. Okay. As I read through these, tell me if these are not happening in the world today. Okay. Adam Weishaupt said, the Illuminati is to establish a new world order. Their objectives are as follows. The abolition of all ordered governments. Okay? The abolition of private property. The abolition of inheritance. The abolition of patriotism. That's definitely happening. The abolition of the family. That's definitely happening. The abolition of religion. okay, and create a world government. All these things are going on right now, folks. It's all going on right now. And I'll talk more about this now as we cross the 1600s. Once we get past the year 1600, this plan is, I'll show you the birth of this plan and how it all comes together at the end. But since we mentioned Adam Weishaupt earlier, I wanted to see who this is and see what some of the goals of the Illuminati and the New World Order are. All right, folks, to talk about the dollar bill and how the dollar breaks down, you need to YouTube this video, okay? This guy's name is Doc Marquis, and it's a rival of the Antichrist. It's it's 1 through, I think about 25 parts. The first 10 parts or so talk about the dollar bill and what the Illuminati are doing and part of their plan and what the whole dollar bill means. He was, his family he was born into the Illuminati family. He knows the secrets of the Illuminati and what they're about to do. And he found God, found Jesus Christ, and broke away from that and is coming out and telling about what is to come and what's going on with our dollar. And once you see this series, which is one of the most important series you could watch, you'll understand what's going on with our government. You'll understand why in the last 50 years our government just doesn't make sense anymore. No one's pulling for us. They're all dividing us, the gays and the straights, the blacks and the whites, the rich and the poor. We should be the United States coming together to unite against our government. But our government has got us running around in circles. If you watch this series, this will explain the vast majority of what's going on. You'll start to understand what's in our dollar bill and how satanic this stuff really is. Okay, I'm going to briefly talk about some of the highlights on the dollar bill. Okay? Using gematria in the dollar bill, the capstone is said to be the eye of God. That's what we're told. Or the eye of providence. It isn't. Okay? If this were, the triangle, this pyramid, would be upside down, meaning God pointing down, looking down on His people. All right? But it's the other way around. It would mean God looking down into the arrays of man. This pyramid points up, which means man invading the heavens. The Great Seal, right here, has a date right down here of May 1st, 1776. That has to refer to when the New World Order has started. It's its birthday for the New World Order, and it's spreading depravity and rebellion headed by Lucifer. The eagle insignia, which was put on there from the FDR administration, this is not an eagle. That, believe it or not, is the original. That's the phoenix. It's got a little thing on the back of the head, which is this seal was remade in 1933. Again, 33, a satanic number. The wings have 32 feathers on one side and 33 on the other, representing the Mason families. The York Rite, which is the 32 feathers, and the Scottish Rite, which is the 33 feathers. The breastplate here, it has 12 horizontal lines, meaning the perfect government. 18 vertical lines means bondage. Okay? 7 white stripes, and there's 7 white stripes and 7 red stripes. 7 represents God, 6 represents man. And this means they're putting man above God. Note that the talons, right here, they're clinched. This is extremely important. Once again, there's 13 leaves on this with 13 berries. That's supposed to be peace, the olive branch, peace and prosperity. The fruit is prosperity. That represents peace and prosperity. There's also 13 arrows, which represent war. All right. Note, if you give something to someone, you open your hands to let them take it from you. But if you take something from someone, you're clenching your hands and bringing your hands towards you. That's what this bird is doing. What this is truly saying is the Luciferians are going to take away America's peace and prosperity, and they're also going to take away our ability to fight war. That is directly what's going on in America right now. Once again, the tail feathers mean guidance. They're used for guidance and stability. There's 9 tail feathers, which means completion. So if you were to kind of sum this up in a quick term, the seal means the New World Order is crowned with depravity and rebellion. It is having formed itself out of many groups. The reincarnation has emerged as a perfect government and holds its servants in bondage. This government will place man above God, and it will take away our peace and prosperity and our ability to defend itself. This is now complete. If you notice, we were talking about some coinage. Here's another coin of the euro. And this is some Greek coins. You notice you have the whore riding the beast. And this isn't anything new. I keep saying this time and time. Satan does the same tricks. He plays the same game with just different people that come and go. Here you have ancient coins, Roman coins of a whore riding the beast. This has been done for thousands and thousands of years. In Britain we have stamps now of the whore riding the beast on many waters, spoke of in Revelation. Why would they have a stamp signifying this if they are not telling you what's going on? Once again, I've said it before, Satan was in charge of music in heaven, and he's gotten into the music industry. And if you go on the web, you'll see YouTubes of people selling their soul to Satan. It's all over. Do your own research. I'll just do a couple here. But Bob Dylan admits this. It was a 60-minute interview, which I'll play a clip of. And I also talk some about Aleister Crowley, and then I'll show some people in Hollywood and the stars that have sold out.
I mean, you're still out here doing these songs, you know, you're still on tour.
I do, but I don't take it for granted.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
Okay, we spoke about Aleister Crowley, and he's part of the Bush family. He's in, once again, Satan is in, in charge of music in heaven, and Aleister Crowley is a Luciferian. And you'll see even songs are made up about this. And I'll show you a quick version of an Ozzy Osbourne song. just to give you a little taste of what Aleister Crowley is about. All right, folks, we're going to talk about Hollywood and the music industry. And we're going to show some pictures of some things that you see all the time, but you're not picking up on what you're seeing. All right? The term Hollywood comes from the occult world, and it has to do with a magician's magic wand. And it means holy wood. Holy wood. Hollywood, it plays an illusion. Hollywood's all about an illusion, just like a magician. He takes his holy wood and taps his hat 3 times, and he'll make a rabbit appear out of a hat. It's all an illusion. Well, that's what Hollywood is about. It's about mind control, painting an image out there for Americans to believe, to see and to think, and it plays in end-time revelations. And what happens is people will sell their soul to Satan for riches, wealth, power, money, whatever they want, and Satan owns them, and he owns this music industry, and he makes them rich and wealthy, and they have great lives, and they're just drawing people in all over the place. And what I'm going to show you here, we've talked about Baphomet, and we've talked about the goat head of Mendes and all this, and you're seeing it. This is Beyonce, and look what her ring is right here. It's the goat head of Mendes. All right? It's a goat head of Mendes. There's a goat head of Mendes. Look what she's wearing. She's wearing a goat head on her clothes right here. Beyonce and Jay-Z, her husband, are full of it. Once again, here's Baphomet. What's above is below. This was a Super Bowl in 2012, I believe it was. She comes out doing a pagan ritual, an occult ritual, and now she's mimicking Baphomet. Baphomet with the moon up here and the moon down here. She's an occultist. She sold her soul. This is a Luciferian. And once again, more rings you're seeing. She has a pentagram right here. She's wearing that on her clothes. Told you, Satan takes the form of an owl. One of the things, and here's your owl right here. Here's your one eye, okay? It's the one eye, but this is the monarch butterfly. Project Monarch, Google this right now. Stop the tape and Google it. This is about mind control. It's about how to control the masses. The CIA's been doing this since the 50s. All right? And they've been doing it, believe it or not, through Walt Disney was huge into this. He's another Luciferian. 90% of our movie stars, our singers, actors, actresses, politicians, they're all Luciferians, folks. We're in end-time prophecies right now. And I don't want to pick on just her. Here she's making the sign of 666. The OK sign comes from Luciferians. Okay? So again, 666. You'll see this all the time. Nicki Minaj. There's her goat head pointed down. Now there's a nice, here's a very interesting concert Nicki Minaj puts on. What the hell is this? But look at what's going on here. You've got the 2 pillars, Boaz and Jachin. Okay, that's the temple. That's the temple. Here's the Stargate. This is the facade of the temple, of God's temple in Jerusalem, in some weirdo occult thing. Here she is once again. We went over this about the Grammys, and the one-eyed right here, the snake. You can see the one eye. One eye's cut. That had to do with the battle, Satan. All Kanye West, they're making the mark of the beast. They're making the eye. It's all about this, folks. These 2, I want to talk about their kids briefly over here, and if I could pan across. Okay, Kanye West just had a baby. And he named the baby Northwest. He did that for a reason. He's acknowledging Satan. Okay? Where did the fallen angels fall? At 33 degrees. If we look on a compass rose, okay, north is 360, east 090, west 180, 270. Northwest is 330, 33. He's naming his kid after the fallen angel. This is done all the time. Let's look at a couple more movie stars that do this. Beyonce and Jay-Z had a baby, and they named it Blue Ivy. Well, it's no coincidental. Once again, Satan does everything backwards of God. It's not coincidental that if you just simply Google Satan's daughter's name, this is what you get. Yul Ellen, however you pronounce that, this comes up. This is the opposite. Once again, they're acknowledging that they're naming their daughter after, as acknowledgement to Satan. Okay? This isn't the other star. This was also done by Tom Cruise. What's the brightest star? What's the brightest star at night? Sirius. Okay? What did Tom Cruise name his little girl? Siri, after Satan's star, or the dog star, or Sirius. Okay, we're talking about Satan, how he's gotten into the music industry, the sports industry, the Hollywood, all these. He gets into these because these are the leaders of the nation. These are the most successful people, what society deems most successful, right? There's an old saying, where the head goes, the body will follow. That's why Satan, throughout time, has always got into the lead country, okay, so it can lead the world astray. That's why in end times, America's going to lead a key role. So with that in mind, let's look at this is the Super Bowl MVP. I spoke about this briefly in the very first episode, and I told you that there was a sign of him eating the snake. He wore this, if you can see this, this is a symbol of the universe on its side. It's represented by a snake eating its tail. What do we have? A half sun, and we have the mark of the beast. Boom. I don't believe this guy sold his soul. I think that they're giving him this shirt to wear as acceptance. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't know enough about this guy. But it's talked about on TV and everything. Here it is, folks. This is the symbol. They keep hitting you with the same stuff. Rihanna. We have Rihanna, who's a big-time Illuminati girl. She's wearing 4 goat head rings right here. Look at it. She even does her hair like the ram, like the goat. This is Kim Kardashian. She's wearing the goat head on her wrist. Scarlett Johansson holding the goat head. There they are. Here's the signs, the devil horns. It's all here. You start Googling this stuff, folks. Here's all the stars cover their eyes. Cover one eye. They're cover it with hair. They're making the sign of the OK sign here. 666, covering one eye. They'll cover it with hair. They'll 666 backwards. They're always looking at one eye. Okay? Beyonce, most of you know the story of I Am. This is a slap in the face to God. When Moses went out in the desert, God told him, go back and tell Pharaoh to let my people go. And Moses said, who shall I tell him sent me? And God said, tell Pharaoh, I am who I am, the God of I am, Yahweh. She's mocking Yahweh with this ad. Do what thou wilt. That's the Satan saying. This guy sold his soul big time. And he flaunts it all over the place. Okay? Taylor Swift making an album called Red. She's a Luciferian. Red meaning the red dragon. She wears the number 13, which is another satanic number we have on the board. You can see her on this. They're telling you openly, but you have to be able to read the occult world and the occult signs to see what's going on. Aleister Crowley, that's Barbara Bush's father. Here we go, Alice Walker. Alice Walker. Oprah Winfrey is a huge Luciferian. That's right, Luciferian. She sold her soul. She loves this girl, Alice Walker. Notice what they're doing, okay? This is Aleister Crowley, Barbara Bush's father, and they're making the hand gesture. She's got the hands down and open like a vagina or the woman. He has his hands up or erect, male going into female. This is done for a reason. Look at this. She's doing the same thing. She's wearing her little red cape after the red dragon, and she's putting her hands the same way as this woman. Okay, to show you a little more about some stars and how they're turning away from Jesus, here's a quick little video that I think it's important to understand how subtle Satan is, but the power that he is that he has with Hollywood, the movie stars, and all this. Take a look at this.
Have you heard about the largest church in the world? The first service was March 3rd, 2008, with an attendance of over 300,000. The attendance is now over 2 million, and they conducted the first ever mass trance on March 17, 2008. What do they teach? Who you are requires no belief. Heaven is not a location, but refers to the inner realm of consciousness. The man on the cross is an archetypal image. He is every man and every woman. The leader's website teaches these lessons. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. My holiness is my salvation. My salvation comes from me. Let me remember that there is no sin. Do not make the pathetic error of, quote, clinging to the old rugged cross, unquote. The only message of the crucifixion is that you can overcome the cross. Have you heard of this church? Or maybe its leader? Years ago, she denied Jesus is the only way.
One of the mistakes that human beings make is believing that there is only one way to live, and that we don't accept that there are diverse ways of being in the world, that there are millions of ways to be a human being, and many ways, many paths to what you call God. That her path might be something else, and when she gets there, she might call it the light. But her loving and her kindness and her generosity brings her to the same point that it brings you. It doesn't matter whether she called it God along the way or not.
I guess the danger that could be in it, I mean, it sounds great on the onset, but if you really look at both sides,
it could probably be just one way. What about Jesus? What about Jesus?
You say there isn't only one way. There is one way and only one way, and that's possibly Jesus.
Today, she has turned her millions of adoring fans over to New Age doctrine. Christians are letting this into their homes and are being deceived.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to week number 3 of our New Earth web class. And again, I thank you. Eckhart Tolle thanks you for joining us as we bring students and seekers together to discuss our latest book club selection, Eckhart Tolle's Anew. We did something last week that was unprecedented. You said it's never been done before on television, where you just sit there in silence. And I thought a lot of people responded to the sense of connection from that. So you want to do that again?
Yes.
Let's do that again.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you're going to lead us in silence.
And simply become aware that you are breathing. The air flows in and out, and you feel yourself breathing. Air flows in and out of the body.
In reading books such as Tolle's, it's really opened my eyes up to a new way of thinking, a new form of spirituality that doesn't always align with the teachings of Christianity. So my question is to you, Oprah, how have you reconciled these spiritual teachings with your Christian beliefs?
I reconciled it because I was able to open my mind about the absolute indescribable hugeness of that which we call God. I took God out of the box because I grew up in the Baptist church, and there were, rules and, belief systems and doctrine. And I happened to be sitting in church in my late 20s, and I was going to this church where you had to get there at 8 o'clock in the morning, where you couldn't get a seat, and a very charismatic minister, and everybody was just into the sermon. And this great minister was preaching about how great God was, and how omniscient and omnipresent, and God is everything. And then he said, and the Lord thy God is a jealous God. And I was, caught up in the rapture of that moment until he said jealous. And something struck me. And I was like, I think about 27 or 28. I was thinking, God is all, God is omnipresent, God is all, and God's also jealous. God is jealous of me. And something about that didn't feel right in my spirit, because I believe that God is love and that God is in all things. And so that's when the search for something more than doctrine started to stir within me. And I love this quote that Eckhart has. This is one of my favorite quotes in chapter 1, where he says, "Man made God in his own image. The eternal, the infinite, and unnameable was reduced to a mental idol that you had to believe in and worship as my God or our God."
Jesus says, you are the light of the world. It means you are the consciousness in which the world appears, is seen.
So you believe what happens to us at death when the body dies? You don't have a belief.
I don't give it any thought.
You don't. God, in the essence of all consciousness, isn't something to believe. God is.
Yes.
God is. And God is a feeling experience, not a believing experience.
That's right.
And if your religion is a believing experience, if God for you is still about a belief, then it's not truly God.
No.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
But that's not all. She's entered the political arena by endorsing a candidate for president. The New Age teacher giving lessons on her website, Marianne Williamson, has started an organization called the Peace Alliance to establish a U.S. Department of Peace. What can we do? Spread the word and tell others to open their eyes. Author Carrington Steele uncovers the truth in a new book, Don't Drink the Kool-Aid. Available at cssteeleonline.com. Christians, time to open your eyes, turn off the TV, and pray.
She made the show, Oprah made the show about Whoopi. They're telling you what's going on here. But you have to study the world of the occult to see this. Okay. Here you have it. This isn't coincidence, folks. I tell you that once, I tell you a million times. They're making the eye the mark of the beast. Notice this guy sold his soul. He wasn't winning any basketball games. In fact, he had the number 34, I believe it was, 32 or 34, I think it was, up in Cleveland. Wasn't winning. What happened? Satan got a hold of him. Satan got a hold of him, and here's the triangle. Notice what you're seeing. The triangle with the light, the illuminated ones, and he takes the number 6. What do we got here? Yeah, I guess I'm just seeing it wrong. I don't know. I'm just seeing it wrong, folks. Once again, here's all the guys hanging out together that sold their soul. Of course, it's a big party. Tommy Cruise, we can't forget him. I'll tell you about him later. He plays a big part in what is going on in Hollywood. Warren Buffett. This is Anton LaVey, who formed the Church of Satan. It's out of the trapezoid, okay? He formed this. He got into this big time. Do your own research. Pearl Jam, you got the eye. The Beatles, this is a very interesting cover. Satan was in charge of music in heaven. This is why Satan got into the music industry through Aleister Crowley. If we look up here, there's Aleister Crowley, second from the top, right here. And we also have Karl Marx, which is in here somewhere. Here. This whole thing opens up and folds up into a satanic thing. They claim to be greater than Jesus Christ at one time. Luciferians, you don't get to where you are. Here it is. Once again, we got the pyramid, okay? This represents the OTO, the Order of Templist Order, or whatever it's called. And once again, this is supposed to be the vagina right here. What? We come down and what do we have? 2 testicles and the penis being inserted. It's all hidden stuff by Crowley. Crowley was the guy that designed this whole thing. Once again, Anton LaVey, all these guys are behind it. Do your own research, folks. Lil Wayne, into it big time. Britney Spears has some satanic writing on the back of her hand. Here's all the stars that are covering the eye. It's all over the place, folks. It's all over the place. Jesus said He's going to put us on the earth like lambs among wolves. And we truly are. We are outnumbered. I truly believe we're outnumbered. There she's wearing the eye, pyramid. This is a local ad. This is an ad at a store. You go to Best Buy and you'll see this picture. 666. Anything that's red with a 6 on it, okay, has to do with Satan. And this guy, Dr. Dre, cashed in. He's one of these guys. I don't know this girl's name, but you got to look carefully what she got there. The OTO. OTO. That's the Vesica Pisces. Aleister Crowley's into all this stuff. This isn't coincidental. There it is again. The Eye of Ra right here. Here's Lady Dum Dum acting like Queen Samarius going down the river, popping out of an egg right here. We went over this. She's representing a pagan goddess. So again, you'll see this eye all over the place on stars. It's even in the graffiti back here on thing. You'll see the eye, an upside down cross. It's all over the place, folks. Open up your eyes. You'll see this on Miley Cyrus. Got a little tattoo there of the eye, all-seeing eye. Once again, the one eye, the horns of Satan. Okay? It's disguised. He's wearing black and white checkerboards. We got pyramids going up, pyramids coming down. What is above is below. Whatever that freak is. This is Prism. Of course, it's a Pink Floyd album, but this is Prism. Operation Prism is what the government's using against us with our computers. Everything we have goes through the prism. Comes out. They know what we're doing. This I will get into in a few minutes about end-time revelation here and Operation Prism. Google it. Read up on it. I'm not making this up. I was able to find this with the help of God. Once again, Katy Perry, she admits selling her soul to Satan on YouTube. What? She comes out with Prism. This isn't coincidental. Okay? Katy Perry and Miley Cyrus. So again, look at this point. It's going down on the star. It's not hard to see. Once you start looking, you'll see 33. If you're a movie star and you're big, if you're in music, whatever, and you make it big and you make millions, such as Oprah, everything goes backwards. Harpo Studio, Oprah's her name. Backwards, sign, she's it. Here's the eye. I'm sorry to say this girl, I liked her, Goldie Hawn. You don't wear stuff like this unless you're not into this. Okay, to show you how the Rothschilds are part of this Illuminati and how this movie Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, it was about these rich elite people and what they actually do behind the scenes. It was not coincidental that the house in which they filmed this was one of the Rothschild mansions that they filmed this in. And in 1972, at this same exact house, they had the Rothschilds sent invitations out to one of these parties that they had. And here is one of the invitations. If you notice, it's spelled backwards. Okay? Once again, you're starting to see a theme come about here. This is the house that the movie took place in, and it's they put red lights on this to give it a red hue, as if it were dipped in blood. Okay, this comes from the 1972 party, and you notice the stag head, the horns, and watch the masks that they're wearing. It's right out of Kubrick's film. Here's another one.
Lady Gaga is probably dying to wear one of these.
Salvador Dali here. Okay, to show you that the powers that be that are owning this world are Luciferians, and they keep everyone to themselves. Everyone that sells their soul, they bring them into the mix, and they promote and buy products from, and everything. They grow all these Luciferians, okay? And this goes to the highest levels of the world and the political scene. Okay? But this isn't coincidental. Take a listen to this video.
Now this is a shocking recent discovery. For those who have seen Eyes Wide Shut, made in 1999, directed by Stanley Kubrick clearly demonstrated to the viewer in a particular scene where there was a location at a private mansion, the mass war, where bankers, businessmen, top officials are wearing masks, hiding their identities from one another, while they group up performing a sexual group orgy, while in the background the Orthodox Romanian prayer is being played backwards, which is part of the satanic ritual. Kubrick clearly demonstrates this at first hand to the viewer to give them an insight of what type of shows are taking place. Many have stated the early minutes of this movie was chopped off by Warner Brothers, and Kubrick was very nervous, smoking a lot of cigarettes when this movie got sent to Warner Brothers. Soon after, Stanley Kubrick, when he died, apparently most say he was murdered, which was exactly 666 days after the release of Eyes Wide Shut. That movie, Eyes Wide Shut, is dark and very twisted for those who haven't seen it. Now you will see the most shocking scene from all. A motion picture has come to reality. Just recently, on the 10th of July 2013, Prince Charles and Camilla host a masked ball event. Now please look at the mask Prince Charles is wearing. It is identical to the mask in Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. family are also part of the satanic ring. Rest in peace, Mr. Kubrick. And please, spread and share this video. Thank you.
Once again, let's go over some signs that you see every day in the food industry. Okay, they're trying to get us fat, pumping all sorts of garbage into us. Here we have a 6, and we have a serpent's eye looking at us. Okay, Taco Bell, they're in on it. Watch, they combine. All these people combine. When you see the Grammys or something, you'll see Taco Bell. They all combine and work with each other. And I'll get into this as we go on. You'll see what I'm talking about. Sonic, Dairy Queen. It's the eye. It's above is below. Subway. It's above is below. Checkerboard. Del Taco, half sun. Starbucks, well, this is loaded with it, but we got the Pyramid of the Stars. This is, this company is just plain evil. This is McDonald's. We got a 1 and a 3. 1, 3 on its side. 13. Comedy Central. It's backwards. It's above it and below. It's above and below and backwards. Comedy Central. Monster Drink. I'm going to talk about this in just a bit. We got, this is the 6th letter of the Jewish alphabet, of the Hebrew alphabet. It's called the Vav. The Vav goes across and down. And it's the 6th letter. So here you have 6, 6, 6. Here you have monster, Satan the monster, and you have the Phi, which is godly. Okay? He's mixing God and evil. I'm going to talk about this in just a few minutes. This plays a big role too. Our magazines, The Sun, or our newspaper, The Sun, that's the sun god we're worshiping. The Daily Beast, AOL, Pyramid with the eye, HBO, come pan over here for a second. HBO is an owl. It's supposed to be an owl. Okay, this is supposed to be the owl. The horns on an owl, the eyes, and then the belly. Okay, that's supposed to be the head of an owl and the body of an owl. HBO. Is what it's supposed to. If you look up some figures, Google some of that, you'll see what I'm talking about. Circle K. Anything in a circle has to do with evil, but it represents going from one plane of existence to the other. Okay, and it's red, representing the red dragon, and K is the 11th letter of the alphabet. 11 meaning the Egyptian bloodline. 7-Eleven, there's good versus evil. Once again, notice how evil is in green. Satan's using green. Okay? Walmart, we got a sun. Target, we get an eye. Lifetime. Why don't we just use an exclamation point? Why does that look like that? Why is it red and it looks like this? That's not coincidental. Crestor, the dot with the V, you can see it, triangle, dot. MTV, it's a 13th letter of the alphabet, and this is truly used to destroy our kids. Under Armour, what's above is below. We also have the eye. Okay? Black and white, just like the checkerboard, black and white. There's a lot going on with these. CBS, black, white, the eye. Look at how they see NBC has evolved in the years. They had this, what is above is below. Okay, then they come out with this, which is the half sun. They make it this shape, the half sun, to look like what is it? What? Peacock, peacock, that's right. Adidas, look at this. First it's black and white. Whenever you see black and white, you got the checkerboard floors and everything. The black and white represents the two, good and evil. Okay? What you have here is a pyramid, which is represented by 11, the number 11, right? Then you have 1, 2, 3. 3 times 11, 33. Pepsi. This is a wonderful one. It's called, Pepsi came out with a thing called the Next Generation. Okay, the Next Generation was their ad. What does that mean? Well, if you take this logo and turn it upside down, which Satan does, the Next Generation, I-S-D-E-D, is dead. Pepsi, the Next Generation, is dead. Turn it upside down. I can't do it on mine, but you'll see what I'm talking about. This is also the new logo. That's what it means. They're trying to get us fat. And notice how Pepsi backs all the big, they all get together. They back huge stars in the music industry. They're also huge in the NFL. NFL is a whole satanic organization. State Farm, we have a pyramid. Pyramids, we go with the number 11. 1, 2, 3. 3 times 11, 33. Here, this is a satanic one, the gold cow it's supposed to represent. This is an interesting one. The red dragon. This is how I believe Satan appeared at the head of God's throne. Because he represents a snake, and he also represents a dragon. I believe he took this form more than anything. That's why I put this picture in here. Red 11. Serena Williams comes out with the number 11, and that's her clothing wardrobe. I have Ra, we'll get into that. Look at Dragon, communications of Dragon. This is a speech thing. You talk and it writes down stuff. Look at the 6. The 6. Dragon. Right. Tamiflu. Tammuz was the sun. Tamiflu, very close to similarity, and it's the half sun once again. Once again, triangle with the eye. I told you this one already, L'Oreal. This is an ad for L'Oreal. The average person passing through a magazine picks some of this up subconsciously, but what it's for is for Luciferians to tell who's in and who's out. So they'll do business with other Luciferians. And when you see an ad like this, okay, this is the owl on a perch. They know they're Luciferians. So if I'm a Luciferian, I'm going to do business with these people and team up with them so we promote and get money so we could start conquering the world. And all these Luciferian companies have been doing this since Amstel Meyer Rothschild back in the 1600s. Wisdom tree. 2 trees in the Garden of Eden. Right? When was that? Look at, this is a Canon Rebel camera. Rebel camera. Who is one of the greatest rebels of all time? Lucifer. Here's the ad for Rebel camera. What do we have? The triangle with the eye. Time Warner Cable. Eye of Ra. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I told you this is completely satanic. Look at the pyramid they've got, right? But if we go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, look how it's made. You got your pyramid and even your truncated pyramid back here. You got your W, which we'll talk about. This is truly satanic stuff. Here's the god of Nike. Even our shoe companies, Nike. This is the swoosh. It's a pagan, ancient pagan god, Nike. Note this very closely. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here. There's blood pentagrams all over America. Okay? Note, the throne of God, God sat right in the middle. They're pointing over Chicago. Who comes from this area? That's right, Obama. Ground zero for evil. The whole town of Chicago is ground zero for evil. Note this. Evil, is the word Najat. Najat, Canada, it means evil in Egyptian. Okay? If we draw on, this comes down to Haiti. Watch what's going to happen off the coast here. I'm going to show you what's going to happen, but remember this picture. I'll bring it back, but this is going to be this is the end times for America. When this day happens, and it's within months from happening, this is bad. This is going to be bad. But there's all sorts of JFK bombings. Again, they left their mark. They leave their mark with the number 11, and 11 in multiples of 11. 11, 22, 33, 44 is President Obama's number, 44th president, 55, 66, 77. All these numbers, when you see double numbers, they're going back to the Egyptians, a number 11 with this. And JFK, of course, was killed on this line. And what was his date of his killing? 11/22. Then I showed you he was killed on the pyramid right there in Dealey Plaza. Remember this right here. They tell you, here's your eye. It's all over. You see this all over the place. Here's your eye. Monster Inc. Boom. This is interesting. This eye, the bee is the royal queen bee that was from Egypt. That's on still today. They had bees that were sewn into the clothing. That was a form of royalty because honey was a nectar of the gods. This was a bee in Egypt was a big thing. The Queen of England has bees sewn into her clothing, especially on the day of inauguration. She'll always have a bee on her clothing when there's special events. Okay, this is the bloodline. The red represents bloodline of the eye of Satan, of evil. M, 13th letter in the alphabet. This is all satanic. Okay? It's again, computers and end-time revelation are going to play a huge part. I'll get into that later, I promise you. Beats music. Well, here's a triangle and a 6. And red, Satan's bloodline, red dragon, union beats. It's an I. What is this? The bloodline of 6. God's got a bloodline. Satan's got to have a bloodline. They're telling you about this, folks, right in front of your face. You have to read it. Google Play. Here's your pyramid again. CenturyLink, we got an eye. Whatever the hell that is. Delilah. Delilah with a pyramid. It's not hard to see, folks. It really isn't once you start opening your eyes. Let's look at a little more. Let's look at some banking. Let's look at some bank stuff. This is true evil because Satan's going to own the world. You have to understand what the Rothschilds did. You have to understand how the Rothschilds were pushing markets up and down to make their money. They don't care about people. People mean nothing to them. All they care about is growing rich, richer, and owning the world. Why? Because that's what Egypt did. This goes back to ancient Egypt. You had the truncated pyramid, which was Pharaoh's family, Pharaoh's bloodline. Everyone else was slaves. These people wanted to own the whole world. As you go through time, look at Rome. Rome owned the whole world at the time. The whole world was right around the Mediterranean, but that was the objective, to own the whole world. Then, go back, England tried to conquer, did conquer the world basically. There wasn't, the sun never set unless it was on a English property, okay? Germany wanted to own the world. They wanted to kill the Jews. The same pattern is repeating, folks. And now look at America. We're all over the place. We have no business being all over the place. But we're doing it. And they're doing it through money. Once again, we have a pyramid. 1, 2, 3. 3 times the 11 is 33. Here's the bloodline of the eye. Satan's eye. This eye. The bloodline. This is also why stars on, what's the Hollywood event? Oscars. They walk on red carpets. The red carpet means they sold their soul and they're walking on the bloodline. It's the bloodline. Anybody of evil recognizes this. This is a great one. What do we have here? We have an 11, an 11, and an 11. 3 11s. 3 times 11 is 33. If you cut this in half, you have a pyramid up top and a pyramid below. What's above is below. What do we have here? It's an eye. Chase, the eye. We also have a Nazi symbol. Boom, 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 boom. You can see that? Come halfway and down. Halfway down. It's a Nazi symbol. That's a cult symbol. Here, another Regions Bank with the sun coming over the horizon. A half sun popping over from the east. Fifth third. If you divide 5 by 3, you get 1.66666. PNC Bank. Once again, anything in a circle is evil. What do we have? 1, 2, 3 in a triangle. 3 times 11 is 33. We also have the eye. It's shaped like an eye. HSBC Bank. Sorry about the blurriness. What's above is below. What's left is right. That's what they're trying to do. Okay. It's a satanic sign. It's red. MasterCard. Most people would never recognize this, but here is the Vesica Pisces. It's the combination of this and this. But what do we have? Combining what? Remember the Nephilim back in the day? In Noah's days, they combined Satan's bloodline, red, evil, with God's bloodline. Okay, they merged that to create the Nephilim. Well, they're going to do that again in end times. There's going to be another merging going on. BMG, the bloodline of the triangle. Sirius, after Sirius, the dog star, Satan's star. Here we have another, Vesica Pisces. Sirius and the half sun. Remember half sun, I'll get to that. Plus, we have 3 triangles. 3 times 11 is 33. Sun trust, trust the sun. Which sun? The S-U-N. No thanks. Heritage. Here you have a triangle with 3 squares. Okay, a little different way to show it, but triangle with 3. 3 times 11 is 33, and it's black and white. IHS. That stands for Isis, Horus, and Set. IHS Financial. Also, the sun back here. Clever, but satanic. Lucius Bank. We went over this the half. All right, we're going to talk about symbols in the energy world and how these symbols are in plain sight. You're seeing them, but you don't understand quite what you're seeing. And notice how we're coming into an age of solar, the sun. We're worshiping the sun. Sun worship, the S-U-N versus the S-O-N. Okay, which is where we're going. And what do you have here? We got some upside down, backwards 6. Looks like the sun. Okay? A half sun over the horizon. Okay? With an eye and a sun also. Once again, a pyramid with 3. 1, 2, 3 in the pyramid. The pyramid's ancient Egypt. 3 times 11, 33. Here's a half sun and a pyramid. How much clearer can this be? Why these two? Why? What's above is below. Here's a pyramid and a half sun. What's above is below. Cylindra. Does it occur to anybody in America? Cylindra, the eyelashes. This is why that's different. We gave, during the first term, $500 million of taxpayer money to this company to produce solar panels. It's not coincidental that they went out of business, declared bankruptcy 3 months later. What happened to all the money? The Democrats shifted all that money over here to Solyndra, with the help of the Republicans, by the way, to Solyndra. So what happens then? So that they can take that guy that owns this, after he sets a small fortune aside for himself, takes that money, feeds it right back to the Democratic and Republican Party, and they can fund evil. This is how this is done all the time, folks. This is why. Solyndra. Shell. Here's where we are today. It's a half sun coming up. That's why it's yellow. That's why a shell isn't yellow. It's never yellow. It has to do, it represents a half sun coming over the horizon. Back to the Garden of Eden. Ba-dum, ba-dum. What is this? You know it. It's a sun with a snake. This represents the snake. Could it be any more clear? What happened? Cut his eye. There it is. They even tell you, sun, day. They're breaking it down. 3 times 11. 3 mountains. 3 pyramids. Half sun. Half sun. Half sun. Why is this half sun? Why? Why not a full sun? Well, because the Antichrist. We're going to get to that. It's going to make all sense when you talk about the Antichrist. Upside down, 3 and the pyramid. 3 times 11, 33. Half sun. Valero. What is this? What is that? Why Valero? What the hell is that? It's a snake. 3 pyramids. 3 pyramids. Mark of the beast. Upside down. I hope this is coming. This is my favorite. 7 and 6. I talked about 7 and 6 with the Nephilim. 7 was God's bloodline. 6 is Satan's bloodline. It's the merging of 7 and 6. That's what it's, or the union of 76. The union of 7 and 6. You're going to see this again in end times. He does it all the time. Satan does it all the time. Marathon. Let's look at this one. We got a red M13. Red. Whenever you see red, it represents 2 things. The red dragon or the bloodline. The red bloodline. M, it's 13. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bends. 6. It's the bloodline of 6. So simple to see. BP. What's above is below the sun. Sitco. Triangle times 1, 2, 3. 3 times 11, 33. Phillips 66. I wonder what this could be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 6, 6. Wonder who that could be. The torch of Satan. Lucifer's torch, the light. He's the false light. Ba-ding, ba-ding. Exxon. This is interesting. This is the double cross. Most of you that are religious, you see this all over the place. You just don't know what you're seeing. This is what you're seeing. See it? All over the place, folks. The double cross. We even talk about, there's a book, it's about this. Read it. That's an interesting one, ain't it? Look at that symbol, the double cross. Where do I see that? I wonder where. Evil Central. That's where. Even the weirdo Nazis got this. Speaking of weirdos. Double cross. It's all over, folks. Take the knowledge. Pass it on. Alright, folks, we're going about an hour and 30 minutes or so, so I'm going to start wrapping this one up. I'll have about 2 to 3 more hours left, and it's going to start getting good. We're going to start talking about the Antichrist real soon and what's to come. And I'll start winding this thing down. Thanks for tuning in.